Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Amber and today I am going to be kind of elaborating a little bit more on the video I posted a few days ago with Brandon talking about the woods and how charged with energy this area really is, especially here in the Yukon in general. I could pick a million different stories of things that have happened in the woods here to myself, to my friends, to my family. But today I want to talk about one in particular, which took place in Kluane. Now, for those of you who don't know where that is, it's about 3 hours northwest of here, and it's actually one of our territorial parks. So it's a gigantic area that has been protected, and the sheep there are also protected, and all of the animals, which does come into relevance in this story. And it's just a gorgeous place. So 4 years ago, my best friend and I decided that we wanted to take her little sister with us to Kluane because she had come up to visit us for about a month, and we wanted to take her everywhere. So the last time she had been up here, she was quite little, didn't really remember much, so we wanted to take her to all of the places that they used to go and just kind of show her around. And so we decided to take a day trip out to Kluane to go see if we could see the sheep, if we could show her the landscape, and that kind of thing. Now, it was July at this point, so it was summer, but in the Yukon, summer sometimes is few and far between, and it was a little gloomy that day, but it was still nice enough that we decided we were going out for this drive. So we get out there, and once you get closer to one of the little villages out there, there is an interpretation center that's only open for a specific amount of time. And then there's also another parking lot kind of around this point of land. And when you park in this parking lot, you can hike up a trail that takes you to a lookout that looks out towards the lake, which is Destruction Bay. And then it's also got like this gorgeous bench and a big plaque that has a little recording built into it, and it talks about the history of the Alaska Highway and when it was built. And the recording on this plaque actually also talks about and plays the original radio recording of when the Alaska Highway opened. So we decided that we were going to go out there. Didn't really expect to see anybody. It was pretty quiet, pretty calm. We didn't really pass anybody on the highway. And we get out there. We stopped at the interpretation center, but we couldn't go in. It was closed. And we kind of tried to see if we could see the sheep on the mountain further up. Because from both parking lots, it's very sparse out there. So you can see from the parking lot straight to the top of the mountain. You can see things moving around. And then even in the other parking lot, there's a very small area of trees before you break the tree line, and you can see every which direction. And so we spent some time at the interpretation center parking lot and then decided to continue on and went around and parked at the other parking lot. And we all left our phones in the car. There was no cell reception. Took our cameras, decided to walk up this trail. We knew it was like a quick hike. It wasn't that hard. And we just wanted to see everything from a different perspective. So we're walking up the trail. We haven't broken the tree line yet. And we've seen no cars, no people. Even driving around that little point of land, we could see up the mountain. You could kind of see the shape of sheep way up at the top, but not really anything. And we probably hadn't seen a person for a good hour at that point. So we're getting halfway up the trail, and all of a sudden we all stop. And we listened for a little bit, and we kind of all looked at each other being like, hey, did you bring your phone? Once we had all determined that none of us had our phones on us, and that we had all left them in the cars, we all kind of checked in with each other to ask if we had all heard the same thing. So what got heard was the voices of a man and a woman having a conversation. It was nothing mean or loud by any stretch of the imagination, but it sounded like people talking. And keep in mind, there is trees and woods on either side of us, and you can see into them for quite a distance. So it's not like it's so densely like wooded that you can't see anything through the trees, but it's also not so sparse that you can just see like all the way through the trees. We thought it was kind of odd because they sounded like they were close to us, but it was still muffled enough that they obviously weren't next to us. And we thought, well, maybe there's somebody actually out hiking and they just walked from the village, and we'll see them when we get to the top. So we continued on our way thinking that it was a little odd, but not really putting much into it. Once we got up to the top and we broke the tree line, we stopped at the little platform and we all kind of took pictures. We read the plaque. We played the recording, which was really cool. It was so different to hear a radio broadcast from back then, to learn more history than probably more than any of us actually ever learned in school, to some degree. And we just kind of let it play. We had checked briefly to see if we could see anybody, if we could see any vehicles parked anywhere that may have caused the voices that we had heard. And we still didn't see anybody. We were very obviously the only 3 people out there. And so we all kind of just sat there and let everything play. We all sat on the bench and just kind of hung out for a little bit, and then we decided that it was kind of getting a little cold because it was fairly windy up there, that we would turn around and go back. On our way back down, we get about to the same spot that we heard these voices, and all 3 of us stopped dead in our tracks again, and we all said the same thing at the same time. We all heard the sound of piano music. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, somebody's like playing away on keys, but like ragtime saloon music. It was very upbeat. It was very happy. Nobody was singing, but then we stood there for quite a while and listened, and you could actually start to hear the voices of that man and woman and another man also talking over top of this music. We couldn't make anything out that they were actually saying, but they were very obviously having a conversation. At one point, the woman laughed, and it was very obviously a lighthearted thing. I think we probably listened for maybe a good 2 or 3 minutes, and it just kept going, and it like played a song, and it played all of these, happy tunes that were not even a match to the music that had been playing out of the plaque, because that was a completely different thing that they were playing. They were playing, military music and Jubilee music. This was very obviously ragtime, bar, saloon music. And we all thought it was really cool. We didn't feel creeped out. We just felt very honored, I guess, in a way, to be captured in this moment of history. So we continued on our way, and we left for the day and went and finished what we had planned to do, and it was all fine. Looking back on it, we kind of reviewed at the end of the day when we got back to town, and how odd it was that all 3 of us heard it. All 3 of us knew exactly what it was. There was no mistaking it. And it was almost comforting in a way that none of us had the ability to record it, because it was very much something that was obviously meant for us. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little odd, and it's not the first time that I've ever heard anything like music or people talking in the woods that are just completely unexplainable. If you guys have had any experiences with random music playing in the woods or voices that you can't explain, and you want to share your stories, please leave them down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It makes me so happy when you do. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so that you get told every time I upload a video, because I do it not once, not twice, but 3 times a week. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be bringing you a new video to delight your brains. Yeah, I think that's all for me. So until next time, bye guys.